Hello there, welcome back to Conflict News 2042. Continuing our coverage of the escalation in the Middle East between Palestinian fighters and Israeli military, we have several updates for you. Firstly, United Arab Emirates has issued a statement. Its foreign ministry. Is UAE supporting Israel diplomatically? Secondly, how many groups, Palestinian groups, took part in the operation against Israeli military when on Saturday hundreds of these Palestinian fighters entered Israel-controlled settlements to the east and north of Gaza? Thirdly, what happened last night? Details for you of airstrikes, drone strikes, operation being conducted by Hamas and other groups, death of a senior Palestinian fighter, how many airstrikes were conducted, all details in this video. Firstly, viewers, United Arab Emirates, normalized relations with Israel around 3 years ago. In 2020, the two countries started diplomatic ties. In 2021, UAE's embassy in Israel, Israeli embassy in UAE started working. And back then, if you remember, Iran and Turkey criticized UAE for normalizing relations with Israel. UAE's foreign ministry has issued a statement. The statement inclines towards diplomatic support for Israel. The ministry says that firing of rockets from Gaza, attacks on Israeli towns were grave escalation, and that there are appalling reports that Israelis have been held hostage. UAE is calling for dialogue, calling for calm, asking international community to be part of dialogue so that this conflict does not expand. Now, condemnation of Hamas's attack, Palestinian groups' attacks on Israeli territories, on Israel-controlled territories, but no condemnation of the airstrikes which are being conducted on Gaza, in which civilians are dying. UAE is definitely taking a position in support, diplomatic support of Israel. Almost all other countries are either silent or they have issued statements condemning Israel. We saw statements from Qatar, Saudi Arabia, Kuwait, all criticized Israel. Egypt stayed neutral. UAE stayed neutral too 2 days ago, but then it changed its stance last night. So UAE is the first Arab country which is leaning towards diplomatic support for Israel. Why? I think UAE wants to be involved in negotiations, in dialogue. Mohammed bin Zayed is fond of being a negotiator, mediator. He's known for meddling in internal affairs of other countries. He intervened in Libya, if you remember. He supported Ethiopian government when the government was fighting Tigray fighters there, regional fighters, and he provided drones, combat drones to Ethiopian government. So he is known for having regional ambitions. He does not want to be seen as supporter of Hamas. So he wants to be part of solution. But this is a very bold step taken by UAE, that it has decided to issue a statement in support of Israel's position. Obviously, it will not go well with some Arab countries, with Hamas, with Palestine, with Iran, and with some other countries too. Let's see how Arab world, how Hamas, others respond. Yesterday, Hamas praised Kuwait, that Kuwait's parliament adopted a resolution condemned Israeli attacks. Let's see what Hamas says about UAE's statement. Secondly, viewers, how many Palestinian groups were part of the operation launched, still ongoing, from Gaza into the territories which are under the control of Israeli forces? Because we mostly hear about Hamas, that Hamas is fighting Israeli military. Now, what I have been able to confirm so far is that there are 9 groups operating in Gaza. 9 armed groups operating in Gaza. Firstly, Hamas, the strongest, the most organized political wing to military wing as well, Hamas. Secondly, Islamic Jihad, another very organized group. Thirdly, popular resistance committees. It is generally said they are backed by Iran, though all of them almost are backed by Iran. Fourthly, Popular Front for Liberation of Palestine. Fifthly, Democratic Front for Liberation of Palestine. Al-Aqsa Martyrs Brigade. Abdul Qadir Al-Husseini Brigade. PFLP General Command. So I have confirmed that these 9 groups have been operating in Gaza, and several have issued statements or they have released videos showing their participation in the offensive on Israeli military, which started 2 days ago. Hamas, Islamic Jihad, Popular Resistance Committees, Popular Front for Liberation of Palestine, Popular Democratic Front for Liberation of Palestine. All these are clearly part of the operation, because we have seen videos, pictures showing their fighters on the ground to the east of Gaza. So it's not just between Hamas and Israel. It's between several other Palestinian groups and Israeli military. Thirdly, viewers, what happened last night? How many airstrikes have been conducted by Israeli military? What did Hamas and other Palestinian fighters do? On the night between Sunday and Monday, rockets were fired from Gaza towards Tel Aviv International Airport. I did a video on that a few hours ago. Airport was not hit. Almost all the rockets, they were intercepted in the air, though flight operations at the airport already suspended. Secondly, Ashkelon was hit. Ashkelon is a coastal city, Israeli city to the north of Gaza, and rockets were fired on Ashkelon. Some managed to reach the target. Some houses were targeted and they were damaged in these rocket strikes by fighters from the Gaza territory. What did Israeli Air Force do? Large-scale bombardment. 500 targets were hit last night between Sunday and Monday. 500 targets, and the airstrikes are being conducted not by 1, 2 or 3 military planes. No, 40, 50 fighter jets, bombers are operating simultaneously. Airstrikes being conducted all over Gaza. Everything is being hit, especially houses of Hamas and other groups, commanders are being targeted. Now, their families live there too. while Israeli government has confirmed strikes on Ruhi Mashta's house, who is secretary of Hamas. Question is, where is his family? Of course, all these Palestinian commanders live in Hamas with their families. So while several commanders' houses are being hit, it means their family members might have been hit too. Several mosques hit as well. Two hit last night, the Sheikh Ahmed Yassin Mosque in Al-Shati, Al-Karbi Mosque in Al-Shati. Israel is confirming attacks on mosque. It says that these mosques are being used as staging ground for launching attacks on Israeli people. Several other buildings hit as well. Schools hit too. Schools closed, hospitals closed. Electricity transmission system, which is in Israel, electricity consumed in Gaza is controlled from Israel. That system has been cut off as well. And international media, Western media is covering Hamas's attacks in Israeli settlements, which we cover too. But no one is extensively giving coverage to on-the-ground situation in Gaza, where hundreds of airstrikes conducted last night. So you can imagine what is going to be the impact, or what is the impact of these strikes on the people of Gaza. No one knows. Obviously, media are not allowed to go to Gaza. Gaza already under a siege for years. A senior commander of Palestinian groups has been killed reportedly. Unconfirmed reports, but several groups are reporting that he has been killed. His name is Nasir Salahuddin. He's a senior commander of Popular Resistance Committees. His death, though not confirmed by the group itself, but some other sources are saying that he has been killed in strikes conducted by Israeli military last night. Now, has the military cleared all the settlements to Israeli military, all the settlements to the east of Gaza? No. Just 3 to 4 hours ago, Israeli military held a press briefing. It issued a statement. It confirmed that still clashes ongoing between Palestinian fighters and Israeli military in settlements to the east of Gaza. 3 or 4 settlements were named by Israeli military. It means that Palestinian fighters are still there in Israel-controlled territories. And Abu Ubaida, who is spokesperson of Al-Qasim Brigade of Hamas, claimed last night that new prisoners have been taken by Palestinian fighters. From these settlements, the prisoners were taken to Gaza. So while hundreds of prisoners taken hostage from these settlements are in Gaza, strikes are being conducted in Gaza. I think Hamas and other groups, they took these hostages to Gaza to stop, to prevent strikes. And we saw statements from some Hamas leaders saying that if people of Gaza are hit, obviously the hostages would be hit too. But we are seeing indiscriminate, large-scale air campaign ongoing in Gaza. This is the overall situation. I reported last night about mobilization of Israeli armored tanks were seen on the move towards the Gaza border, but no ground offensive has been launched so far, which will be launched. But first challenge for Israel is how to clear the settlements. If all settlements are cleared, then Israeli military might make a move towards Gaza for a ground offensive. Meanwhile, in West Bank, I reported about clashes there last night between Israeli and Palestinian forces, though no large-scale escalation, but a Palestinian was shot dead by security forces. He was riding a bulldozer, and through this bulldozer, he tried to ram into Israeli soldiers. The level of hate between these two groups indicates that this war is going to be a deadly war. Already deadly. We're seeing images which are very shocking images. No regard for any law, it seems. No regard for Geneva Convention. Israel bombarding Gaza indiscriminately, and Hamas, other fighters, they indiscriminately killed civilians when they entered Israel-controlled settlements 2 days ago. So that is on the ground situation. Thanks for watching.